been playing Jesus for 500 years. Like literally.
Yeah.
Jesus doesn't look anything like Brad Pitt.
You can identify everything but the children of God. I need my people to wake up and understand that this is a propaganda.
The curse of the pharaohs are a poor example of what wait for the plantation.
Beware false prophets who come dressed in sheep's clothing, but inwardly are ravening wolves.
You black man!
He that stealeth the man.
You must unlearn what you have learned.
I want to say shalom and blessings to all of my brothers and sisters, my kinsmen, according to the flesh, who are Israelites, to whom pertain the adoption and the glory and the covenants and the giving of the law and the service of Elohim and the promises, whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Mashiach came, who is over all, Elohim blessed forever and ever. Amen. Hallelujah. I want to say shalom and blessings to all my brothers and sisters. I want to say shalom and blessings to my brother Bunya, brother Kadar. Real quick, I want to open it up to you, brothers, and let you chime in on the chat.
Yes, I'd like to say shalom, blessings, happy Shabbat. Giving all praises to the Most High, Yahweh, to the Messiah, Yahweh Shai, and to Salt of the Earth, Brother Benya, Brother Eric, Brother Cleo, Brother Hal Gooden, the other brothers is joining in, and to the chat. I'd like to say shalom to y'all, because if we don't bring it, y'all sure gonna let us know.
Yeah, I want to say all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High. And I would say, I want to say shalom and blessings to my brother Ibri and Kadar and all my brothers and sisters out there, Israel according to the flesh and in Mashiach. I hope everybody's having a great Shabbat, and I'm glad to be here. I appreciate you, brothers and sisters, allowing me to be on. And thank you. Shalom and blessings.
Absolutely. All praise to the Most High. And thank you to also again, Brother Banya, for opening up the platform for these discussions to be had with the family. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to the Most High for all of his goodness, his grace, and his mercy on our people, for opening up our eyes in these last days, and for redeeming us through his truth and through the blood of our Mashiach. So real quick, I want to say shalom to everybody in the chat. Sister Linda Ricks, shalom and blessings to you. Jamal McBride, shalom and blessings to you. Hope all is well. Marsha Skinner, shalom and blessings to you. Hope all is well. Katrina Brown, shalom to you. Hope everybody had a blessed day. Ellen L. Israel, shalom and blessings. Sister Yvette Rivera, shalom to you and blessings as well. Demetra Harbor, shalom to you. Hope you're doing well, sis. Glad y'all could chime in. Brother Donovan, as always, shalom to you. Brother Donovan, you kind of tricked us, man. You had us thinking you was younger than what you are, but nonetheless, it's good to see that we have brothers and sisters who are elders among our people, with youthful energy. Glad to have you as always. Nisi Lewis, shalom to you, my love. Image of Shiloh, shalom and blessings to you. Hope all is well. Albany, Georgia, shalom to you. Sister Paula Lawrence out there in Australia, shalom and blessings to you. Hope y'all doing well. Brother Apostle Curtis Lewis, aka SCM4, shalom to you. So y'all see what the topic is. And as always, when our brother Kadar has a lot on his mind, he brings it to the family. So I'm going to open it up to him and allow him to share with the family what's on his mind, in terms of this subject matter, cheating on the Most High.
Shalom, shalom. You know, so often, we was in Christianity or Islam. I don't know about Islam because I studied Islam, but I never did join it. But Christianity, I did. Um, so often you go to church on Sundays and you heard a pastor preaching. I know my brother. I can just talk about him. How about that? My brother, he's a bishop, a doctor, or whatever he is, out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Well, he's from North Carolina, but he moved up there when he came out of high school. So anyway, he's been preaching around 40 years. Every time you go hear him preach, his main topic he preach on is fornication, as in a man and a woman, or a woman cheating on her husband, or a man cheating on his wife. And yes, that's true. It happens. And that's some of the topics that we should teach on too. But you notice they never teach on the topic of cheating on the Most High. And that topic right there is very, to me, I really don't think they don't understand that. But how do we as a group, as a nation, cheat on the Most High? By honoring different gods. How do we do that? By some people say, well, we doing this, without knowing. Well, if you're in Christianity, you should know, right? A lot of times when I was in Christianity, I didn't know, but I know now. When we honor these holidays, Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, Easter, we cheating on the Most High. New Year's, like tonight, New Year's Eve, we cheating on the Most High. And I really believe this is part of the reason why we are still in the mess we are in today. It's part of the reason that we have not got that sign or something happened for us to leave and go into the wilderness, because we are continuing on cheating on the Most High by honoring these holidays. So tonight we're gonna bring out the proof, what happens and what's going on today, and why we in this mess. I believe it's a certain number, according to the scriptures, a certain number, because we know a remnant gonna be saved. Once that number come out of Christianity and stop cheating on the Most High with these holidays, I heard so many people tell me today, "Happy New Year," and I just look at them. I'm like, Lord, Happy New Year, I'm like, and it's sad because they don't even know what's going on when they saying it, So tonight, we want to get in this and we want to bring it out. We want to reach our people and tell them stop cheating on the Most High. They're gonna say, "Well, what are you talking about? When you keep these holidays, this is what you're doing." They'll say, "Well, I'm not worshiping." Yes, you are. You worshiping without even knowing. And then they'll say, "Well, I don't think God will hold me accountable." We're gonna talk about that too. Brother Eric, Brother Brad, y'all got something to say before we get in the scriptures?
Well, I'm gonna just briefly say before I yield it to Brother Bunya, when you talk about cheating on the Most High, you have to first understand that in order for us to cheat on the Most High, that means that we have to break a covenant that was made. The Most High made the covenant with our people, and our people broke that covenant by doing contrary to the things that was in the covenant. And so when you talk about cheating on the Most High, we have to look at it from that regard. But I'm gonna yield it to my brother Bunya. He said he'll be back and forth.
Okay, yeah, he did. I can go ahead and get started. So, go to the famous verse. One thing I like about this, a lot of people starting to know this verse now. Jeremiah 10.
Yeah.
And they can't stand it. But they started.
Look, you even starting to see people reason around it, come up with
I ain't never heard of the verse when I was in Christianity. Never heard of it.
Jeremiah 10. You want me to read it for you?
Yeah, you want to, yeah, go ahead.
All right, Jeremiah 10 and 1, it says, Hear ye the word which Jehovah speaketh unto the house of Israel. Thus saith Jehovah, learn not the way of the heathen, and be not dismayed at the signs of heaven, for the heathen are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vain. For one cutteth the tree out of the forest, the work of the hands of the workmen with the axe. They deck it with silver and with gold. They fasten it with nails and with hammers, that it move not. They are upright as the palm tree, but speak not. They must needs be born, because they cannot go. Be not afraid of them, for they cannot do evil, neither also is it in them to do good.
Wow. So that right there is a clear cut. And you know, when people read that, they'll say, oh, I don't think it's talking about the Christmas tree. So first of all, he says, do not do the customs of the heathen. So it, you know, to me, it's talking about so-called Christmas tree. But even at the beginning, he's telling us not even take hold of the customs or what they do. So that alone destroys anything, because they'll say, well, I don't think it's talking about the Christmas tree, blah, blah. Well, don't take the customs. So that part right there destroys everything. He's telling us not to do it Israel. Now, it's sad that we have people that, and even in my family, know, well, I think they know who we are, because I don't told them 1,000 times or showed them. But yet still they'll say, well, I'm a Gentile, because they want to keep the customs of the heathen. That's crazy. But they would give that title up, give that what they call favor up, just because they want to worship and they want to, you know, take hold of Christmas. You know, of course, when you look at Christmas, kids, all they think about is toys. Has nothing to do with the Most High, and they have nothing to do with as in honoring another God when it comes to kids. Sometimes, but you can teach your kids the right way. But sometimes people, they'll say, "Oh, you mean tell me? Well, what I'm gonna tell my kids? You know, man, kids don't care. You get them, you buy them a gift and give it to them. You actually think they're gonna worry about if they have to worship another God or not? They don't care about that. They want to play with their toy. So a lot of our people use that to say this is why they keep Christmas. Anything you want to say on that, brother Art?
No, that's a good point, you know, and that's really a scapegoat a lot of times, you know, using the kids and family as an excuse to partake in different things. That's a good point, you know. And I would even, you know, the passage says, learn not the ways of the heathen, you know. And I would even say that since we've been in this captivity, there are some things that we have picked up and learned, you know, but this is just letting you know what the Most High's intention is, what his heart is toward these different types of things. You know, the origin of these things is the worship of other gods, and even the higher ups today understand the true origin of these things, and that's why they push it on the people. They benefit from it, and we become spoiled. But that's a good point, bro.
All right, yeah. So I don't know if Brother Banya back or not, but yeah, that is. I mean, you know, like with my grandson, you know, I'm crazy about my grandkids. And one thing I say about my family, praise the Most High, they know where I stand and they don't bother me. They never say Merry Christmas. They don't say no Happy New Year. They don't say Thanksgiving. They don't say nothing. They see me, they call me by my nickname. They call me Mon. They said, Mon, how you doing? So
I'm gonna start calling you that.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I ain't gonna do you like that.
they call me. They say, "Hey, Mont, how you doing?" So like, because a lot of people call me by my middle name, Lamont. But they give me respect and their honor. It took some years, y'all. It ain't like it happened overnight. I used to get kind of upset because when I first came in the truth, I was hot headed. Well, I'm still kind of hot headed now, but I was really hot headed back then. You walk up to me and say Merry Christmas. What are you talking about? I mean, I go off. But I'm not like that now. So, but anyway, I guess they say, even my oldest brother, the one that's a bishop, that he had called home, and my sister was talking to him, and she said, Mont moved back home. He was like, okay, tell him Merry Christmas. She said, he don't sell. She said, he don't celebrate Christmas. He was like, oh, okay, please don't tell him I said that. So I think once, even in your family, once you let them know the truth, they will get. I hope they will give you that respect, and I would say my family has gave me that respect. But I was kind of hurt by my kids because they know the truth, and they'll sit around and tell people, but they still honor these holidays. Ain't nothing I can do about it. I pray, but so it's sad that they grew up. They know the truth. They know it's no excuse with them. They know, but they still want to honor Christmas and New Year's and all that.
So do they, when your family get together during this time of year, do they even mention Mashiach?
Well, they talk about God and Jesus. Our whole family's Christianity, except for my niece. I got a niece out in New Jersey. She don't celebrate none of the holidays, and I got a nephew in Philly. He is in on it too. So he don't celebrate the holidays too. He really on it. Hey, brother, Eric, brother, Benaiah Israel's in the chat. I want him to come on because I want him to meet y'all. So if you get a chance, put the link. I want him to come on and meet y'all too.
Okay. When we after you get done and everything, I'll send the link out.
Cool. All right. So Hosea, let's go to Hosea 2. Hosea 2 and 13.
Hosea chapter 2, verse 13.
Let's start at verse 13.
All right. And it reads, and I will visit upon her the days of Baalim, wherein she burned incense to them, and she decked herself with her earrings and her jewels, and she went after her lovers and forgot me, saith Yahweh. Therefore, behold, I will allure her and bring her into the wilderness and speak comfortably unto her. And I will give her vineyards from thence, and the valley of Achor for a door of hope. And she shall sing there as in the days of her youth, and as in the days when she came up out of the land of Mizraim, that's Egypt. And it shall be at that day, saith Yahweh, that thou shalt call me Yeshua, and shall call me no more Baalah, for I will take away the names of Baalim out of her mouth, and they shall no more be remembered by their name. And in that day will I make a covenant for them with the beasts of the field, and with the fowls of heaven, and with the creeping things of the ground. And I will break the bow and the sword and the battle out of the earth, and will make them to lie down safely. And I will betroth thee unto me forever. Yea, I will betroth thee unto me in righteousness, and in judgment, and in loving kindness, and in mercies. Keep reading.
Wow. No, that right there is so good. So you read all the way to
I read to 19, from 13 to 19. You there?
We stop cheating on the Most High. You see what's going to happen? This is our deliverance is stop cheating on the Most High. We know, like Brother Eric was saying earlier. Matter of fact, Ezekiel 16, 28 through 32, it's talking about everything what you were saying earlier, how we cheated on the Most High by breaking the statute, laws, and commandments. Most definitely that. But when we went after other gods, like he said in this verse right here, we went after other gods and we started to worship these other gods. Like we went after Islam. We walking around here having this Islam tradition that comes from Turkey. Anyway, that's a whole nother. Even the Israelites didn't do what they doing now. But then we got Christianity and their tradition, and how they taught us how to basically act like the men of Japhet or Esau, or the women of Esau and Japhet, how we decked ourselves with their clothing. We had no choice because we in land of captivity. How we actually present ourselves, it's almost like them now. You got people telling us, even in the past, I don't know about it anymore, oh, I don't think you should wear dreads. Man, I wish I can grow my hair because I definitely would have them right now. You have people saying, oh, I think you should cut your beard. I mean, because that's the way the military and the way the Japhet Esau people want us to be. Even in the military, women couldn't wear their natural hair. That's crazy. Black women couldn't wear the natural hair, wear it natural, because that's the way they want us to be. They want us to worship their God fully. And in so much we have done that. We worship white Jesus. And, growing up, I thought he was white. And I mean, that's what I thought. And so whenever I run across a so-called Jew, I would ask him a lot of questions. And I couldn't figure out because he couldn't answer certain questions. And I used to be like, man, act like he didn't want to talk about the Bible to me. I'm thinking, man, you're a Jew. You don't want to talk about the word. We see here that we was worshiping other gods. We didn't know.
Hey, Brother Kadar.
Yeah.
You kind of breaking up a little bit. So you might have to repeat everything you just said in that sequence right there, because you was chopping up real bad.
How about now?
You sound great now. Yeah, you sound great now.
Okay. Now we see here they trying to give us this lollipop. Can you hear me good?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, if we say we don't want to take it, or blah blah this, let's say, I don't know, but let's say it is the prophecy that we read in Revelation. I'm pretty sure everybody know what I'm talking about. That mark, right?
Yep.
Some people would say, well, I don't think God will hold us accountable because we don't know what it was. And the only reason you don't know what it was, because you reject truth. And so the next verse I'm going to go into is Hosea chapter 4 and 6. But, a lot of our people reject the truth. And then they want to say, well, I didn't know when you had a chance to know. And a lot of our people do know and still want to honor and celebrate these holidays. Still want to run and take the lollipop without even thinking about it. You would think anybody in Christianity, the first thing would have came out of their mouth and saying, man, I don't know if I would take that, because that might be that what we read in Revelations, the mark. But you didn't see that happening. That was the first ones there, taking the mark, taking that lollipop because they want to have church. Crazy. So you got anything you want to say on that, Brother Eric?
Yeah, you even had the rapper Juvenile telling you to vax that thing up, So you got you got this thing being promoted through every angle that they feel appeals to our people, or that they train our people to gravitate to: entertainment, music, even in the church, the Christian church. You know, these are the things that they use to trigger us into responding and doing the things that they want and expect us to do. But that's all I had on that.
You know, so often I run across people and they bring up the lollipop and they'll say, "You ain't took a lollipop?" I mean, you know, it just burns me up. And I'm looking at them like, man, if the lollipop stopped people from dying, I can understand you said that, but we know that didn't happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, it just burns me up, you know. They'll say, I seen a post somebody post the other day. They'll say, well, I didn't know what I was taking. I was growing up and I took the shots for school and blah, blah, this. I didn't know what was in that and this, that, and God gives you common sense. God give you common sense. Shalom, born boat. So
shalom.
God said, God give you common sense. What? Yeah, you're right. Yah give us common sense. Yah, Yahuwah, Yahweh. And so the common sense that we have is that we got to sit back and watch this thing, because we see people that take the lollipop still die. But anyway, I don't want to get so off into that. I'm just letting people know, according to the scriptures, that once we cheat on the Most High by believing everything that our oppressors told us, everything they told us in the past about Christianity, Islam, or whatever religion, and that's what we have done. And this is why we in the mess we in today. But the thing is, for us to come out of that, man, we got to stop. The first thing, we got to stop honoring these. Oh yeah, 4th of July. Now, how in the world you gonna honor 4th of July? That right there was a sign of your eighth captivity. We gotta, hey, man, we gotta get out on these holidays, because we are so cheating on the Most High. So I want to go to Hosea chapter 4, because people want to say, well, if we don't know what we're doing, then we can't be accountable for that. I said, okay.
Hey, I will say this about the you know what. When you ask people why they receiving it, it ultimately revolves around them contributing to things going back to normal. Everybody wants things to go back to normal. And so that would be against the Most High.
That's right.
Because his plan is different, you know. So that's one thing when we was talking about last night, about how, you know, he hid his judgments, you know. And that's one of the reasons, or one of the ways, you know, people don't understand that we're in judgment.
You're exactly right.
This is Hosea 4:6. That's what you wanted.
Hosea 4 and verse 6. Yeah.
Say my
For
people.
my people. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah, you go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I can't see it that good. I ain't got my glasses. Go ahead.
Okay. I thought you might have knew it by heart.
I kind of do, but go ahead. Yeah, I don't want to make sure you get it right. Plus, you are a good reader. Everybody like your voice. Sound like Barry White.
Well, I thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Say, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me. Seeing thou hast forgotten the Torah, or the law of thy Elohim, I will also forget thy children.
Wow. So we see we cannot use that thing that a lot of us use when it comes to honoring these holidays. When we got somebody, now I'm talking about the people of my surroundings. When I'm showing them Jeremiah 10, I'm showing them Ezekiel 16, where we're going to go to next. And I'm showing them these scriptures telling them you shouldn't do that. And they'll say, okay, yeah, but they continue on doing that. So they had a chance and they rejected. I had a girl, I used to send stuff, I still do, on Facebook, different teachings out that's good. Told me not to send her nothing no more. Wow. Now, I never had a brother to do that. Maybe they got, they prideful or whatever, but I had a sister tell me, don't send me that no more. I said, oh, okay. Just completely rejecting the truth. So when you reject the truth, you set yourself up. What we call failure. Oh man, you really set yourself up, because when you reject that truth, that means that you had a chance and you didn't want to hear the Most High. And that's what's going on with us. When we tell our people, hey, according to Jeremiah 10, according to Ezekiel 16, if you keep these holidays has nothing to do with the Most High and told you not to do it with the customs of the heathens, you doomed. You got a whole year to decide that. This ain't no sin that happened at a spur of a moment. We got them sins too.
Yeah.
You got a whole year? You mean tell me in a year you can't decide that you want to keep these? Come on, man. Crazy. Anything you want to say about that, brother?
I mean, I guess in a year's time, like the scriptures say, my people don't know, they don't even consider. So a lot of our people not really even considering it. To them, that's old time stuff, In the cult, like I even heard a pastor, a Christian pastor, I don't want to say his name, but y'all probably familiar with who he is. When he was speaking on it, he was saying that for the culture that we're in, the reason that we do it is to honor Christ. So when you dealing with this, you're dealing with a thick layer of a lot of different things, man. And it's only by the grace of the Most High that we were able to see and come out of it and separate from it.
That's so good. Yes. Yeah, that right there. You're so right. And I thank the Most High, because I'm going to tell you, I was lost too. And I was lost, but even within Christianity, like I said, back in 2003, 2004, I wrote a magazine talking about the three different religions, different denomination, what they called it, I was in. So I felt something that wasn't right. I just didn't understand, even back then.
And you ought to bring that out one day, man.
Yeah, I did. Well, I did a video and I showed it, but yeah, you're right. I need to bring it out, read a little bit of it, what I was saying back then, see how the different, I got it right. Matter of fact, I think, did you see it when I showed it?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, I need to bring it out. Yeah,
that just exposed another level of things that can be done,
Yeah. When and like that's why I tell people, when I was in Christianity, I was in Christian. This was making me mad with people really not even in, they say they're Christian, but they really not following the so-called Christian way. They might go to church once every blue moon. Man, I was in church every day. I remember what I'm saying. I did all week, had to go to meetings, everything. I did everything. Bible study, wherever you name it. But you got people out here to go against me. It's not really even in. They call themselves Christians, but not even really doing everything what they, Christianity do. And that right there really, just breaks my heart. I'm like, man, when I was in Christianity, I was really in Christianity. And if I can see the wrongness, how can you really say Christianity is not even wrong when you don't even really go to church? You know, it's crazy. Yeah.
You go to church on Christmas and Easter.
Yeah, that type of Christian. Yeah, I was really. Yeah, I'm trying to bring this man. So let's go to Ezekiel 16, verse 28 and 32. Man, I gotta find me some more glass.
Ezekiel 16 and 28.
28 through 32, yeah.
He said, "Thou hast played the whore also with Ashur, because thou was unsatiable. Yea, thou hast played the harlot with them, and yet couldst not be satisfied. Thou hast moreover multiplied thy fornication in the land of Canaan unto Kadishma, and yet thou was not satisfied herewith. How weak is thine heart, said Adonai Elohim. Seest thou doest all these things, the work of an imperious, whorish woman, and that thou buildest thine eminent place in the head of every way, and makest thine high place in every street, and has not been as an harlot, and that thou scornest hire." So they did this for free. But as a wife, thou committest adultery, which taketh strangers instead of her husband. So he said, "You."
So you see how we cheat on the Most High even back then. What were we doing? Same thing we're doing today. And so earlier when you said that, I was like, wow, it goes right hand in hand with it. I don't know if you knew that verse, a couple of verses, but what you said, I was like, wow.
Yeah.
And you got to be a Levite.
I hope.
You got to be a Levite. But you know, you see how Israel was cheating on the Most High, even with the Canaanites gods, and you know, having kids by Canaanites too. But with the Canaanites gods, with all different type of nationalities that was in the land of Israel, with land of Canaan at the time, what they end up calling Palestine. We see here how they was operating what we doing today. And so you can tell that who are the Israelites. I'm gonna tell you why. Once you go to a brother or a sister and you bring out these verses, they get upset and they get mad. You go to any other nationality, they will be like, what are you talking about? Difference.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't even know who they are, but they do something to them. And they don't even know why, because they are the children of Israel. And you know, and they want to hold on to these holidays. They want to hold on to these you know, festivals and parades and all this stuff that's European, so-called European culture, because they basically stole it from somebody else. But you know how that goes. That's a whole nother lesson. But they want to hold on to that. Brother Benaiah Israel, we're gonna bring you in a little bit. Just got one more scripture to go to, and then we'll be done. I'm gonna bring you in. All right, you got anything you want to say on that verse?
Nah, you can go ahead. That's just
let's go to Ezekiel 16
terms what it's like.
Yeah. Okay, let's go to Ezekiel 16, 59, 60. And this right here is the closing part. And this is what happens when we get back to understand who we are.
59 through what now?
62.
He said, "For thus said Adonai Elohim, I will even deal with thee as thou hast done, which has despised the oath and breaking the covenant. Nevertheless, I will remember my covenant with thee in the days of thy youth, and I will establish unto thee an everlasting covenant. Then thou shalt remember thy ways and be ashamed when thou shalt receive thy sisters, thine elder and thy younger, and I will give them unto thee for daughters, but not by thy covenant. And I will establish my covenant with thee, and thou shalt know that I am Yahweh.
Now, you see that? He said he gonna establish the everlasting covenant. So we know we're not in the new covenant where a lot of people in Christianity preach. Once we get back to the Most High, once we stop honoring all these, European holidays and doing everything they want us to do, once we get back to the Most High, what did he say he gonna do? He gonna establish our everlasting covenant. So Israel, nation, and anybody here that's in these churches and everything, let them see this video. Let them understand with these scriptures what it's telling us. A lot of times we talking about cheating on husbands and wives, and wives cheating on husbands, and husbands cheating on wives. But as a nation, we've been cheating on the Most High, Yahuwah, Yahweh.
I put the link in the chat. I want to read something from Jeremiah chapter 2.
Okay, go for it.
He said, moreover, the word of Yahweh came to me, saying, go and cry in the ears of Jerusalem, saying, thus saith Yahweh, I remember thee, the kindness of thy youth, the love of thine espousals, when thou wentest after me in the wilderness, in a land that was not sown. Israel was holiness unto Yahweh, and the first fruits of his increase. All that devour him shall offend. Evil shall come upon them, saith Yahweh. Hear ye the word of Yahweh, O house of Jacob, and all the families of the house of Israel. Thus saith Yahweh, what iniquity have your fathers found in me, that they are gone far from me, and have walked after vanity, and are become vain? Neither said they, where is Yahweh that brought us up out of the land of Egypt, that led us through the wilderness, through a land of deserts and of pits, through a land of drought and of the shadow of death, through a land that no man passed through, and where no man dwelt. And I brought you into a plentiful country to eat the fruit thereof and the goodness thereof. But when ye entered, ye defiled my land and made mine heritage an abomination. The priest said not, where is Yahweh? And they that handle the law knew me not. The pastors also transgressed against me, and prophets prophesied by Baal, and walked after things that do not profit. Wherefore I will yet plead with you, saith Yahweh, and with your children's children will I plead. For pass over the isles of Kittim and see, and send unto Kedar, and consider diligently, and see if there be such a thing. Hath a nation changed their Elohim, which are yet no Elohim? But my people have changed their glory for that which do not profit. Be astonished, O ye heavens, at this, and be horribly afraid. Be ye very desolate, saith Yahweh, for my people commit two evils. They have forsaken me, the fountain of living waters, and hewed them out of cisterns, broken cisterns that can hold no water. Is Israel a servant? Is he a homeborn slave? Why is he spoiled? I'm going to stop right there, because it's letting you know that out of all the nations, there's no other nation who has changed their gods like Israel has. And these other nations' gods are not even gods, yet they hold fast to them. But we have the true God, and yet we change gods, like how it says in the scripture. Shalom, brother Benaiah.
Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom.
How you doing, bro?
I'm doing good, bro. How about you?
All is well, man. Glad to have you.
Shalom, shalom, brother.
Shabbat shalom, brother Kadar. Hey, Shabbat shalom to the family out there. I appreciate y'all bringing me on real fast.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, this subject that y'all touching, you know, this is really a really deep subject. I wish people could really see it with different eyes and see it with adult eyes. You know, people don't really see the fornication and imagine Israel as a woman and the Most High as her husband and the things that's happening.
Yeah.
I mean, if I, you know, I don't want to come on your show and just run my mouth, but just last week, Christmas, right? We could find 3 gods that was celebrated on Christmas, right? Mm-hmm. So imagine Israel, the Most High's wife, getting dressed, and on Christmas, she went out with 3 guys. And she let all 3 of these guys hit, right? Then a week later, she's going to go out with Janice. She's going out with Janice right now. She's putting on lipstick right now. She got her music playing. She's putting on lipstick. She's making sure her hair look right. And she's about to go out with the god Janice, the god of new beginnings. Then a month and a half from now, she's going to go out with the god for Valentine's Day and let him smash. And then a month after that, she's going to show her homosexuality part of her, and she's going to go out with Ishtar. And she's going to do freaky stuff with Ishtar. And when you're looking at it like how the Most High is describing it, it's like, wow, it's mind blowing. And then, you know, the thing about it is, then on her birthday, like on the individual birthday, I'm a person who recognizes the day that I was born, and I give all praise to the Most High for it. I don't throw a party or nothing like that. But for those who do and go overboard, you know, that's if worshiping another god is fornication, and the Most High looks at it in a sexual manner, then worshiping yourself is masturbation. So when you put all these things together and you look at how big of a whore Israel is, but yet when, you know, Yahusha, you know, I'm not sure what people call him. You know, I call him Yahshua. But when Yahshua returns, you're supposed to be what? An unspotted virgin. An unspotted virgin. But you have been not just a whore, but the whore. Like, if you can imagine a bar. Imagine a bar that nothing but the gods hang out in. And these gods are real. These gods are fallen angels, right? So imagine this bar that these gods come in. And here comes the Most High's wife into the bar. Hi, Jesus. Hey, Janice, how you doing over there? Hey, Ishtar girl out there. Who's going to buy me a drink? In the bathroom stall is written for a good time called Israel. Because this is what Israel do. She's the bar fly. And this is how I see it. And I wish people could see it, because then you would be like, oh man, I'm not paying that God no attention. I don't want my husband to see me, you know, with this God. I mean, of course, a lot of us, we've worshipped other gods before we came into this truth. So in this scenario, this picture I'm painting, you can't be a virgin by the time Yahusha return. But at least you could stop and save it for him, right? You didn't give it away to a few gods, but you could really stop and save it for your husband who's going to return. But Israel's out tonight about to do something freaky with Janice. And if as we as an adults can see that, and the Most High describes it like that. It looks like milk to people, but it's really deep. And I don't really want to run on. I want to take a pause to give somebody a chance to say something.
But no, that's cool, bro. And that's a vivid example, to say the least, one that everybody I'm sure can understand, dealing with the Most High and Israel and the other nations. And the thing about it, the benefit to serving a God, just like when we read the law, the Most High told us that simply for obeying his commandments and keeping his laws, statutes, and commandments, that he would bless us as a people, in pretty much every area. It wasn't an area that he said he wouldn't bless us in as a result of being obedient. But then he also said that what we're doing now would happen. He said that we would serve other gods when we get scattered into these other lands.
Mm-hmm.
He told us that these other gods will be a snare unto us. And just like you take for Christmas, we don't benefit from celebrating Christmas, especially if you don't have a business. It's only one group of people who mainly benefit from Christmas, and these people don't even believe in Mashiach.
I think it's and I know I might sound crazy to the people. And if I could ask you, Brother Ibri, if those scriptures that you guys was just reading out of, like Ezekiel 16,
yeah,
if I could ask you to bring that back up so I could just show the language that the Most High is using, because I know, like, people with Christian ears, they're probably like, man, what is he talking about? He didn't really took the Bible and made it real carnal. But did I really do that? I mean, are we really paying attention to what the Most High said?
Yeah.
So if we start at verse 8, you can start at verse 8. So when I read this, I imagine, I'm 40, 45, 46, something like that. I stopped counting, but I remember the video Orange Juice Jones. I saw you and him walking in the rain, right? And when I read this is the video that I imagine. And then you can start at verse 8.
He says, "Now, when I passed by thee and looked upon thee, behold, thy time was the time of love. And I spread my skirt over thee and covered thy nakedness."
Now, right there, he said, in my head, I see the Most High walking past. He sees someone who looks good. He looked at her. Right? And her time was the time of if she was ripe or whatever you want to. I'm trying to keep it PG because, it is the Shabbat. And he spread his skirt over and covered thy nakedness, and he took her in. If you could continue.
He says, "Yea, I swear unto thee and entered into a covenant with thee, saith Adonai Elohim, and thou becamest mine."
Okay, so he said he scooped her up. Right here, he scooped her up. He takes her home. What does he do with her?
He says, "Then washed I thee with water. Yea, I thoroughly washed away thy blood from thee, and I anointed thee with oil."
So he picked her up on the road. He takes her home, and he's cleaning her up. Go ahead.
He says, "I clothed thee also with broidered work, and shod thee with badger skins, and I girded thee about with fine linen, and I covered thee with silk."
So he's dressing her up. She was nothing when he met her. He took her home. He washed her up. He cleaned her up, and now he's putting fly clothes on her.
He said, "I decked thee also with ornaments, and I put bracelets upon thy hands and a chain upon thy neck. And I put a jewel on thy forehead, and earrings in thine ears, and a beautiful crown upon thine head.
So he laced her out. He got her out there looking like Beyonce. They decked her out. She's looking fly.
He said, thus wast thou decked with gold and silver, and thy raiment was of fine linen and silk and broidered work. Thou didst eat fine flour and honey and oil, and thou wast exceeding beautiful. Thou didst prosper into a kingdom.
Now, she was nothing. He took her home, cleaned her up, dressed her up. She looks fly. She eats the finest food. She's Tasha on Power, or she's one of them women that they try to portray the rich man's wife. Verse 14.
He says, and thy renown went forth among the heathen for thy beauty.
Now, right there, we think, okay, that's just the heathens. But he's talking about the gods. He's talking about the gods. Like, she was so fly that the other gods wanted her. Go ahead.
It says, for it was perfect through my comeliness, which I had put upon thee, saith Adonai Elohim. But thou didst trust in thine own beauty.
She started smelling herself.
And playedest the harlot because of thy renown, and pouredest out thy fornications on every one that passed by. His it was.
So she gave it to anybody who passed by. She got so fly, and the other gods wanted her. So remember the scenario where I said that in the bar is written for a good time called Israel. She got so fly, and she gave it to anybody who passed by. His it was. If he wanted it, he could have it. Continue, bro.
He says, and of thy garments thou didst take, and deck thy high places with divers colors, and playedest the harlot thereupon.
You took off my garments and laid them down and played the harlot and did your thing on the clothes I gave you.
He said, the like things shall not come, neither shall it be so. Thou hast also taken thy fair jewels of my gold and of my silver, which I had given thee, and madest thyself images of men, and didst commit whoredom with them.
Now, I don't want to go, this is going to sound crazy to people, but women have toys. I apologize for your Christian ears, but it says you took silver and gold and made images of men and then committed whoredom with them. But I'll continue on that. I'll continue. Go ahead.
18. And tookest thy broidered garments and coveredest them, and thou hast set mine oil and mine incense before them. My meat also, which I gave thee, fine flour and oil and honey, wherewith I fed thee, thou hast even set it before them for a sweet savor. And thus it was, said Adonai Elohim.
So he just said that the food that I bought for you, you are cooking steak and potatoes for the dude you cheating on me with. The food that I bought and brought in your house, you cooked it and you served it to them. Verse 21.
He said that thou hast slain my children and delivered them to cause them to pass through the fire for them.
For who? For these gods. So how many times do we know of one of our sisters who's no longer with the child's father? She gets a new man and she either abuses the child for the new man or let the new man abuse the child or even kill the child. He said, thou hast slain my children and delivered them to cause them to pass through the fire for them, for the other gods. Verse 22.
He said, and in all thine abominations and thy whoredoms, thou hast not remembered the days of thy youth, when thou wast naked and bare, and was polluted in thy blood.
So but you don't remember the day that I walked past and I saw you sitting out there and I scooped you up. You started feeling yourself. So, I mean, and then when you go into other things like Isaiah or Hosea, where Hosea 2, where Brother Kadar was at, the opening verses is plead with your mother, plead with her, for she is not my wife. Tell her to remove the fornication from between her breasts. You have to look at these things with adult eyes. What is he saying? Remove the fornication from between her breasts. When he's describing Israel as a whore, he's describing her as the biggest whore that you can imagine. And that's what we are. And no matter how much we tell our people, there's a God behind this day, there's a God behind that day, there's a God behind. They heard you, but they don't care because that God is showing them a good time. And this is how I see it. And if we as adults, I wouldn't teach my kids this, but if our adult brothers and sisters who's going to the club right now, if they could understand it in this way, I think it will make a difference.
And I think that's like I said, that's definitely for adult ears, for people who, want to understand it on a base level. Because truth be told, this is some of the stuff all of us have done anyway, even on a physical level. And if you get into how that displeases the Most High, then that'll really have you shaking, so that's a excellent way of describing it. Fornication and adultery and cheating on the Most High. It's like a woman cheating on her own husband,
Mm-hmm. And right now, to them taking the pictures, they're just standing there with a champagne glass and some glasses on that says 2022. That's all they see in their picture. But the Most High sees his wife hugged up with Janice, saying Happy New Year's.
And ain't Janice two gods in one?
No, he has a face that look forward and a face that look backward.
How you got two faces?
Because he's the God of the forward and the past, and he's the God of the forward and the past. So he's the God of the new beginnings. He's the God of the going through new doors, and that's who he is. They added the month of January because of him. The month of January is named after him.
Well, hey, that still sound like a threesome to me, buddy.
Hey, if I could just get you read one more verse, bro, and then I'm done. It's because I want you to hear whose fault this is, though, because I want to be clear on whose fault this is. And if we could go to Hosea chapter 4, starting at verse 13.
Hosea 4, 13. All right. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
All right. It says, they sacrifice upon the tops of the mountains and burn incense upon the hills, under oaks and poplars and elms, because the shadow thereof is good.
So what they're doing right now is they're worshiping other gods, or they're committing fornication, or they are cheating on the Most High right now. And this is what he says after that.
He says, therefore your daughters shall commit whoredom, and your spouses shall commit adultery. He says, I will not punish your daughters when they commit whoredom, nor your spouses when they commit adultery, for themselves are separated with whores, and they sacrifice with harlots. Therefore the people that does not understand shall fall.
You can stop right there, bro. So So this is the men's fault. This is our fault. And he said, because we were worshiping other gods, he said he's going to make your daughters, our daughters, whores, or our daughters whores today. Yes.
Absolutely.
He's going to make your wives adulterers, or is our wives adulterers? Yes. But he also said he's not going to punish them for it, because this is what we as his wife did to him. Therefore, it shall be done to us as the men, right? And now we're in a perpetual thing that, because if our daughters are whores, who are making our daughters are whores? Our sons. It's not the Gentile sons who's making our daughters whores. It's our sons who's making our daughters whores. And then our son grow up to have an adulterous wife, and it's a perpetual cycle that we put ourselves in, or our fathers put us in, for worship, for cheating on the Most High, for cheating on him. And praise the Most High that he has the mercy and endurance to forgive us. Because Brother Kadar just read that, he said, but after this I shall allure you into the wilderness, and I shall speak soft things unto you. So in my mind, he said, you know, I'm going to take you in, and I'm going to whisper in your ear, and I'm going to spit some more game, and I'm going to take you back, and I'm going to forgive you. But how many of us can forgive that woman, or that two women, or how many other women in your life that broke your heart, that made you into that cold-hearted monster that you are, that you swore you would never give your heart to another woman? How many of you can forgive that woman for doing that?
Yes, that makes sense. He said, if I forgive you, you should forgive your brother, your sister, and definitely your wife or your girlfriend. So we have to.
And I don't think we can. I know there's something that I can't. Like, man, she did she did me wrong, bro. I don't know if I can. Most High better than me, man. He could.
Well,
you know
well, a long time ago I couldn't, but I think I can now. I don't want to have to, but I think I can now. A long time ago, oh no.
And that's just showing that he's just a better man, a better husband than we are. You know what I mean? We cheated on him, man, and he's like that pain. And me personally, man, I think about that pain, that the first time I really had my heart broken, man, that pain was, whoo, man, you'll never forget that pain. Well, that's what we did to the Most High, and that's what we're doing to him now. Like right now, you know, I don't know if any of you brothers out there who recently, since Facebook been in a relationship and lost that relationship, and scrolled through Facebook and saw your ex or the person you just broke up with on Facebook smiling with another dude. This is what the Most High is looking at tonight.
Wow, that's so true. That is so true, you know. And I think it's part of our deliverance. Once we come out or stop doing that, that's a whole, or whatever number he got, that he, you know, on the remnant of Israel's coming. I think we'll, you know, be prepared to get up out of here.
Yep. You know, everything we see now is a result of what our forefathers did, you know. So when we call these things out, it's not to put pressure on one or the other, you know.
Right.
When we go into the history of our forefathers, it tell us that because the priests pretty much dropped the ball, that the people would fall off. We know that the priests were the Levites.
Mm-hmm.
And if you read about some of the things they were doing, you know, and you look at some of the things that these so-called priests today are doing, you'll see that there's really no difference.
No, not at all.
Thus, you taught the wicked ones their ways. That's what he told our people. And so we're blessed and fortunate to live in a time where the Most High is bringing us the truth, bringing us to light, you know. And so those who are of just hearts, you know, flee iniquity and take hold to the covenant. You know, that's the time that we're in.
We have to, because I mean, to be that unspotted bride, you know what I mean? So now you have to be washed clean through your baptism. If and I'm not, and I might be speaking out of turn. I believe in baptism. So you be washed clean and try to keep your wedding gown as spotless as you can from there on, because you know that you've been a whore. Even as a man, if you can't accept this as a man, if this sounds homosexual to you, then I don't think you really understand what the Bible said. But you know you have been a straight whore with these other gods prior to your awakening, and we have to stop. We have to stop it and wait for our husband to come. Forget these guys. Quit answering their phone. Quit answering their texts. Quit entertaining them. You just have to leave. You have to wait for your husband to come and take you back like he promised to do, and be grateful that he did that.
Hey, brother, can you pull up Sister Jill's comment right quick? So it's time to embrace the promise and stop asking for already being given.
Yeah. I mean, we gotta, even with that, these are things that have been stolen from us, the promises, the covenants, now everybody is under the new covenant. Everybody who believes in Jesus is under the new covenant.
Yeah.
But that, what I like to stress is that when Mashiach came in the flesh to do the will of the Father, which was to be a sacrifice for the sins of Israel, when he shed his blood, he was not making a new covenant. He was confirming a covenant that was already made by our forefather Abraham.
Mm-hmm.
His blood solidified the covenant. And that's why we have the grace that we're under now, because of that.
Remember, we just read, he said, I would establish the covenant in Ezekiel 16, 28 to 32, Ezekiel 20 and verses 32 through 38. It tells you would come in the bond of the covenant. I mean, you got different examples of that. The covenant never changed, but that's what we was taught. Oh, you got a new covenant. No, the law's still there. Even if I'm going to put the laws in your heart and write them on your mind. The laws are still here. Once we get back in our land, that's when the Hamashiach said, I will drink with you then. And because he would do it then. He said, when I would do it new. But actually, it's all the same covenant. It's just a different way.
So we under the new covenant with no laws.
Yeah. Woo! Because people take the new covenant as something spiritual floating in the air. They don't take the covenant as really laws, just like we got laws in America. Until people in Christianity understand that, they would never get that. These is the laws that govern our nation. Real laws. It wasn't nothing what they call spiritual. It's crazy. What they call spiritual.
You're not sure if anyone read the book of Adam and Eve, but the Most High in it said that he will come and save Adam in 5 days, meaning 5,000 years. Yeah, that's something we actually digging through right now. And we can show you that. And, when the Mashiach came, that's when he raised up Adam after he resurrected, from the grave. He went down, and that's when he brought up Adam and all the other righteous forefathers.
Wow. I need to check that out because I never read that. But see, this is the books they want to keep us away from. Mm-hmm. That's something. If these books was that bad, why when we read them, we can bring out precept within the 66 Bibles. If these books was not, matter of fact, it's proof that the Hamashiach quoted from them. quoted from these books. Come on, man.
Yeah. Shalom, brother T and brother Smitty. Shalom, sister Diane Gardner Young. Yeah, man. Those books, you get a lot of information from those books, you know. But even when it comes to, you know, how the scriptures, I think it's in Ezekiel 46 when it say how the Most High called the end from the beginning, and those things which be not as though they are, you know.
Yeah.
You can go in those Adam and Eve accounts and look at that as well, how he talked about redeeming Adam's seed. Let you know that the seed of Israel traces all the way back to Adam.
Yep. We did a lesson on that. What's that? Luke, what was it? Luke 23? Luke 3? Luke 3, yeah. But y'all, I'm ready to get off of here. I think the prayer gonna start in another 30, about another hour. Is it 7:30 yet?
He said at 8, right?
8, well, it's 8:30. Is it? No, 9 my time is what he said.
So that's go from now.
Yeah, brother Banya Israel, I'm glad you came on.
I appreciate you, fellas.
Please don't be a stranger, because brother Banya, I want y'all to meet. I don't know what brother Banya.
No, I just was
busy right now.
I just wish the first encounter was a different time, because I don't want people to think I'm crazy out here and I'm just, you know what I mean. But this has been an interesting topic because I'm working on a video right now, and when you're working on a video, I like to go back and reread what I'm about to do and make sure I'm understanding it. And I'm just reading these things, and I was just having like flashbacks of even my own personal relationships while I was reading this, and I'm like, wow, we really did the Most High like that. And I hate to put it in a real carnal sense, but sometimes you got to really get the carnal before you can get the spiritual.
Man, look,
exactly right.
Look, man, you crazy, man. All right. Crazy. We all crazy over here, man. So just welcome to the crazy club.
Oh man, yeah, we all crazy. They think, that's what we get. But you know what? I like that post you put up on Facebook earlier on how I guess you was doing the writing last night, and I was like, wow, this is interesting, but so sad on how we treated the Most High. I mean,
yeah.
Ain't that something? And we end up talking about it. Brother Ert said that last night. We was on live. He was talking about how, we were basically cheating on the Most High. And that stuck in my head all day. I couldn't get out of my head. I said, oh man, because that right there to me is our deliverance, man.
Right.
That's our deliverance. We cheating on it. We get back, to the Most High. Get our people, or whatever number that is. That's why I always say it's a number. If we know everybody ain't gonna come. It's sad, but it's not, it's not gonna happen. But I'm ready to get off here, y'all. Peace and glory.
And I appreciate it.
Israel. Thank you, Brother Eric. Shalom, peace. Shalom.
Absolutely. Shalom and blessings to Brother Kadar, Brother Bunya. He's busy right now working on the project, so that's why he hadn't really been chiming in. He say he's multitasking right now, so shalom to him as well.
Yeah, that's my bad, man. So much info, man. It's crazy.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. I'm kind of upset that I missed it, man, but I have my wife on here, and then I got this thing going with this presentation, trying to level out the vocals to make sure those are correct, and scarfing like pretzels down at the same time.
Yeah, so everybody hear a good sign on that. So the work is in progress. I know like I say, I'll be glad when it dropped myself,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But what time the prayer starting? You said at 8.
Yeah, it's gonna start at 8 your time, and it's roughly about an hour and a half from now.
8:30.
Yeah, 8:30.
Okay. Okay. So
And
hour and a
that's
half from now.
so that's Central Time. 8:30 is, and Eastern Time it'll be 9:30, and my time is going to be 6:30. How by the way, I sent you. It was Hal in here
No, he
because
didn't
I
chime in.
sent to the brother Hal an email. And if it's possible, could you join the link, brother? So when we go off, I wanted to ask you a couple of things. If it's possible, you can drop the link in there for him, bro, and have him come in after we go off. I wanted to ask him a few things.
All right.
I wanted to ask you something too, bro.
All right.
But man, yeah, I'm working hard, and I got all the parts, man. Now all I got to do, man, is just line it up. Get the brothers who are working on those specific areas that they, to come through, and then we'll be good to go. Indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. The I'm sorry. The sister asked the question: is the prayer on Facebook and YouTube? Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was just addressing that to say that we're gonna be streaming live from YouTube, from the Side of the Earth channel.
Okay.
All right, brother Hal, I put the link in there for you. You want to chop it up with you after we chime out. If you can chime in, that'll be appreciated.
Yeah, man.
Look at that. They already shooting over here in Oak Cliff. Yeah. Man.
Oh, they shooting for the this off day where they don't even know the beginning of the year. Got the beginning of the year starting in the dead of winter.
Yeah. Everybody shooting their guns they got for Christmas.
Shooting the guns and man.
The Christmas guns.
But
yeah, man, I kind of expected, to be that way. They already popping firecrackers over here, so hopefully it don't get too heavier than that. It's a lot of kids over here, so.
Yeah, we used to play with the firecrackers when I was younger, man. But I mean,
yeah. All right, that's I'm gonna chime them in. But 8:30 Central, 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern.
indeed.
Meet us back at the Salt of the Earth Productions platform for the prayer and fellowship. I want to say shalom to everybody. Hope everybody had a blessed day. Till we meet again, peace and blessings. Shalom.
Shalom, blessings, family.